Hey fellas, this is Josh 8 Loop, and right now I'm doing an oil change, which you can see from the line. I have the 1/4 inch line going into my oil dipstick tube. I've went ahead and changed the oil filter already, so that's new. Right now I'm just extracting the oil from the vehicle using an old air conditioning compressor from an old refrigerator. It's really slow with the 1/4 inch line, but it is doing the job. I mean, it's probably going to take a good hour or so to get almost 2 gallons, which it holds, out of the vehicle, or a gallon and a half anyway. But I wanted to go ahead, and while I'm waiting for the oil to go ahead and completely evacuate, I figured I would go ahead and just take a few minutes and just talk about and show you a few things on the vehicle. Recently I replaced a thermostat, which I commented on the forum, the Benz World forum, and thought I would just take a few minutes to show you what it ended up doing, and what it took to get it done. Basically, right here, this housing contains a thermostat inside there, and basically the new one that I got from Wahler is right here, and that is a 92 degrees Celsius thermostat, and you can see the thermostat inside there, right there, and that plate on the back is a block-off plate, and that pinches off the bypass circuit in the engine. It forces coolant to selectively come through the radiator, cooling the engine. And there is a gasket, which you can see right there, that gets pushed into a recess on the thermostat. Now this is the old thermostat, but the difference between the old one and the new one, there's not much. They were the same rating on temperature, except this one here was not allowing the temperature to get even 80 degrees Celsius, and it should have been definitely running at least that. So I knew, and from the research I'd done, I knew that this old thermostat had reached its life expectancy and definitely needed to be replaced. I went ahead and picked up a Wahler thermostat, which is a German-made part, and they typically have pretty good quality. So I've had pretty good luck, so I felt pretty confident in going with them. But hopefully you can kind of see the part number there, and if not, I may go ahead and put it in the description. But it is a 92 degrees Celsius thermostat, so I knew that would at least help my engine run the temperature it was designed to run at, or maybe even slightly elevated. Well, basically what you have on the thermostat is you've actually got, in fact, let me get this old one in front of me, you've got 3 screws on the bottom, one here, and one here. Now the other 2 fasteners that you have for your thermostat are one right here that holds a bracket, and then when you look to the front, you actually have one right here. So let me show you those 5 fasteners on the thermostat as it's installed in the car. You've got here one for your bracket for your fuel lines. You'll remove that and get that out of the way. You've also got the 3 that are on the base of the thermostat, and they're very difficult to see. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this camera at an angle where you can see them, but you can see one down there, and of course there's 3 on that. So just as I showed you on the old one there are 3 at the base, so you're going to want to find those. In fact, sometimes you have to move the lines out of the way a little bit, and then you can gain access. So this one, those 3, and then also there's one right down here, just underneath this top line. Now of course when you do this, probably the first thing you want to do is go to your coolant reservoir, remove the cap, and go ahead and put an extraction device in there to pull all the coolant that's contained inside your coolant reservoir. Go ahead and do your best to get all of that out of there. What that's going to do is that's going to allow you to go ahead and replace your thermostat without losing hardly a drop of coolant. So instead of draining the radiator and so forth, unless you feel it's necessary, go ahead and extract the coolant from the coolant bottle, and that'll take care of the air. Now once you take care of that, go ahead and remove this line here, this hose, and this one as well. And then you can go ahead and find a E10 reverse Torx socket and I got this one a real cheap set from Harbor Freight. I think it was all of about $6. Real handy to have. So again, that's an E10 socket, and that's going to allow you to get some of these fasteners right out. So once you have your coolant drained, your coolant line's off, go ahead and take this fuel line off and pull this out and away. And there's my dogs, or my neighbor's dogs, I should say. My wife is getting them excited, making them bark. So once you have those two lines off, your coolant drained, go ahead and remove the rest of the fasteners, and then you can go ahead and separate the thermostat housing from the engine. Now, some guys mentioned that they remove their oil filter cap. I did not. Actually, I was able to kind of turn and shimmy that thing right on out, and I was able to get the new one in just fine. And honestly, that was the easiest thing to do because I didn't want to get coolant inside the engine oil system. So, but you know, once you have the old one off, go ahead and clean the sealing surfaces real gently with a nice clean rag, maybe some alcohol or some acetone. That way, when you put the new one back on, your gasket will seal. And of course, the installation is just the reverse of removal. You just set it in there, and then put your 3 screws in on the base of the thermostat, and go ahead and tighten those down. Then go ahead and put your bracket on the side here, secure those fuel lines, and then again, just underneath this small hose here, there's one more fastener there. So again, there's a total of 5. And once you have all those secured, then you can go ahead and put your coolant lines back on, and then go ahead and fill your coolant reservoir. Now, one thing I didn't mention, there is an electronic sensor, coolant temperature sensor right here, and before you remove the old one, you're going to want to disconnect that electrical connection and just push it out of the way. And you know, make sure your new one comes with a new coolant temperature switch, or coolant temperature sensor. And in my case, the Wahler 92 degrees Celsius unit actually did. So hopefully that helps you guys out and gives you a little idea of what the job entails. Mine took about 45 minutes. Draining the coolant out of the reservoir was really quick, and that was totally sufficient enough to keep any coolant leakage from that area when I removed it. And of course, the 5 fasteners, a couple hose clamps, an electrical connection, you know, and that thing's off. So about 45 minutes worth of work. I didn't lose a drop of coolant, and it went really well. So, alright, enjoy guys. Thanks.